GM fam. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Avatar, #1 podcast in the metaverse. I am joined today by the one and only AndyRichy, as you can see above me or below me, above me. He's in the house, so excited to sit down, get to know you a little bit more. Let's just dive right into things. And the first thing that I always kind of have guests do, especially if you haven't been on here before, is just give everyone a brief little intro of who you are, what you've been up to, and then we'll just kind of dive in and go from there.
Yeah, of course. So, first thing, happy to be here.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Thanks for the invite.
Of course, man.
Um, I have been doing a lot of sandbox work for the past probably 2.5 years now. I am the founder of Boop Boop, which is a company which develop and build games within the sandbox. We're very community focused about creating experiences and interacting with the community, playing games. We've done treasure hunts and stuff with the people like Touche Studios as well. I know is here today. So I've recently left the sandbox though now and focus more on Boot Group and the development. So we are working on a few different experiences at the moment, especially with some partners as well, and hopefully bringing some new features to the sandbox soon with stuff that we build and create.
Nice.
That's me. That's me,
Hell yeah.
really.
So, you were doing stuff with like working with the sandbox, and now you're not working with them. You're just working in the sandbox and other
Yeah.
other things, or just are you still just focused on building in the sandbox?
No, focus really on Boot Goop. So at the moment, Boot Goop's main objective really is the development within the sandbox and
Okay.
creating those experiences, the Nina project, stuff like that. But I'm doing the streams as well, and I am looking at a few other ways to have branches to go down for Boot Goop. But I don't really want to share too much about them at the moment because nothing's set in stone. We're just testing things, so we'll wait
Yeah.
and see.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Um as far as projects, you just said the Nina project. I'm not I haven't done a ton of research, which I'm guilty of a lot of times, which is kind of fun because then I just don't know what I'm getting into. But I haven't done a ton of research. What other than knowing that Nina is the dog, um, that's about all my knowledge is. Like, what is this Nina project?
Um, so there's two different sides to it at the moment. There's one that we released quite recently and announced to people. It's not actually launched yet, sorry, but we have announced it to everyone. And stuff going back around a year and a half ago, we started giving away the sandbox asset for free to people that claimed it through channel points on Twitch. So the original Nina, once all of those has been claimed, we'll be having a launch of an experience there just for Nina holders only.
Nice, nice. Are you
But
building that on stream or anything, or is that going to be a surprise?
that's all hidden.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Um, we're not there yet at the moment. I think there's still around 70 Ninas left to be claimed. So
And the only
uh,
the the only way to claim that is through Twitch points. Yeah.
yeah,
And how many total are there? Did you say
200.
200? Nice, nice. Um, so for those of you who are listening, if you want to get in on that, make sure you're tuning in and watching AndyRichy over on Twitch. I'm assuming it's AndyRichy.
Yeah.
It seems like it's probably AndyRichy everywhere. Just tune in, you'll gain points. I don't really know how Twitch points work exactly, but so, somehow you gain points over time, and then you can spend them. So I don't, how long do you think it would take somebody if they were a new listener to accumulate enough points to buy a Nina?
So when I calculated it at the start because I wanted it to be fair to people. So I think if they weren't subscribed and I was streaming for 4 hours a week, or four different streams at an hour each, then it'd take them around 2.5 months. If they
Okay.
were a subscriber, I think it was like half that time basically.
Nice, nice. I think that's a fair fair amount of time. I mean, it's definitely like an investment, but like of their time. But that's what you want. You want people that are interested in what you're doing and tuning in and supporting you and everything. So I think that's a cool way to approach it. Is I feel like I'm gonna dive too deep into the Nina project, and seems like you have a lot of stuff that you can't talk about yet. So just tell me to shut up
No, no.
if I ever go too far. Uh, but the so Nina your dog?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's around somewhere
nice.
downstairs, I think.
Does she
She's a
make
little
guest
French.
appearances sometimes?
Yeah, so that's why the asset was made. You know, Nina was popping up on stream when we first started, and we did a little thing where you could claim a claim one of the things with channel points to give Nina a treat.
Oh,
So people
nice.
would claim that, and she'd start coming on the stream, and then in the end, we made her and started giving her away to people.
That's awesome. How long ago have you been doing the the builds in the sandbox on stream?
Since February the 11th, and I don't know which year.
Oh,
I think it's I think it's 2 years, 2021.
2 years. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. That's about the time. I feel like that's about the time that a lot of people started. I mean, there's been a steady influx of people over that time span, but I feel like I know a lot of people that are right around the 2 year mark that were have been like paying attention to the sandbox and building in it and everything. Um, I don't know. I wonder what that was. Was that just right around the time that I mean NFTs, if you were kind of in the know, started to become popular? I can't really remember. It's kind of all been a blur these last 2 years.
I'd say a little bit. I think I had a little bit more time before that. I came into the sandbox about 8 months before that, probably. So I ended up building a game for a game jam and finishing in the top 10. And that's why I started streaming
Nice.
because all the sand that I got from that just went into one hell of a PC at the time. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's legit. What was it? Do you remember which game jam it was?
number three it was. It was when 0.6 came out.
What was the big changes that point 0.6 brought along? I don't I don't think I've messed around with Game
Let me
Maker for a
see.
long time. I don't think I touched it until at least point 0.7. So I have no idea all the different iterations. But do you remember kind of like what the big difference was that maybe people were excited about or made building the game easier for you?
Found it here. The medium for it.
Nice.
You had to include. Oh no, it was 0.4. Sorry.
Point 0.4. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds almost prehistoric.
Yeah, it was 0.4. Jeez. Oh yeah, the prize money was 350,000 sand at the time.
350,000 sand. Wow. That's
Not for me. That was all the prize money.
yeah, yeah. That's a big number though. How big are the prizes now? I honestly don't pay nearly enough attention to like the game jams and stuff just because I'm not really participating in them. I'm focused on other things. But um, do you know off the top of your head what has the prize pool been like recently? Has it gotten
It
bigger
va-
or
it varies. It
yeah?
varies on the partner. It varies
Oh,
on
sure.
like there's a lot of factors we take into account, but there was a range that game jams would be between. So I'd normally have a chat with Seb, and then whenever we designed or planned a new game jam, I'd send suggestions over to him, and he'd either say, "Yeah, that's fine," or in some cases, "No, double it." And that was Seb. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Um, as far as working with the sandbox and closely with like Seb and stuff, what have been some of the I don't know, like cool things that you've kind of experienced or maybe just like noticed that maybe isn't visible to the public all the time, but is something that is notable that people should know about.
From the past or for the future.
Or the present.
The best part has been watching everything grow.
Yeah.
Over the at the time when I came in, it was It was very early, and I think after building the game jam, that was the results were in January, I think, and by March, I was employed by the Sandbox and started working with them. So from there, I kind of had a big jump where I went from being a community member to actually being involved and knowing what's going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big jump that I had to kind of like adapt to. And then from there, it was watching all these features get rolled out to the community, definitely. Because you questioned before what people are going to build. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of the new version that's coming out, and you test it and you give feedback and you play through some of it, but you never know how people are going to take those tools. And especially with the game jams, there was always things that people that create that you just wouldn't think of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to have the ability to look at it and try to guess and dissect how they've done it and either replicate it or it was just people's imagination is crazy. And the more people that have got involved in the sandbox, that's from a community aspect, you've seen that really get stretched.
Yeah, it is wild to see what some people come up with, that you would never expect, as far as like different game mechanics and logic use and stuff, that it's just like, how did you even figure that out? uh, I feel that way most of the time when whenever I'm watching games or playing games, but that's just because I'm not super super knowledgeable of all the logic stuff. But yeah, it probably has been just kind of, I can imagine from your point of view, it's cool to see what people come up with when you kind of already knew what was coming, but you didn't know exactly how they were going to use it. So that's super cool to probably kind of look back at. Uh, does anything come to mind as far as things that you saw people do innovation wise, with some of the game jams, that kind of like blew you away, that are kind of.
Yeah, the going back to the very first game jam that I entered, I think the game jam just before number two, when I entered the sandbox, that was like ongoing at the time, and Cyber Dragon had just created teleporting, or what
Mm,
basically did the mechanics for it. So that was like a huge jump to see how, because we only had basic tools back then, you know, and creating something like that was quite complicated and used a lot of numpads. And from there, things just they just got more and more intense. You know, Cyber Dragon again released another game which was, um, I think he did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and he did Grey Labs as well. And then from there came like the battle game that he did, the Pokemon kind of,
hmm.
um, and then it just went crazy. Then people started manipulating the camera angles, you know, changing the avatar to other pieces and having layers on top to create card games, to create tower defense games. I think it was all really when presets came back, because presets were here at the start when we did the first teleportation, and then
Hmm.
presets were taken away from I think 0.6 to 0. What 7.75 was it or something,
Yeah, I
and
was
then
gonna
they come
say, I
back in.
remember. Yeah, it was right around seven, middle of seven. Yeah, because I remember people
Um,
all complaining about that. I was like, I don't even know what presets are, but sounds like people missed
they're
them.
good.
Yeah, yeah. I now I realize why they missed them.
But then from there came everything that you see today.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. It's been a crazy journey, even the shorter version for myself, and sounds like it's been even crazier for you to kind of see the evolution of everything, and it's excited to see. It's exciting to see what's going to be coming too, because every time I hear from somebody that's in the know, and knows about some other things that maybe are happening in the background, they always just say like, oh, just wait till you see the next thing. And I don't know what some of those things are. Some of those things I've maybe heard a little bit more than I should have, and I'm excited for them as well. So I all I know is that there are very cool things in the works, and it's just going to keep getting better and better, from the feel of everything, at least. Is there anything that that you're looking forward to as far as like features that aren't currently capable in the game that maybe you have plans to utilize if that feature were to be put into the game?
Yeah, there's a few things. Probably the first that comes to mind, we Boot Group were doing the football metaverse as a plan. So
Mm.
a long time ago, we started building a football stadium in there and created it with the intention of having multiplayer and having that ability to hold football games, football competitions, and have a league where 20 different teams play each other every week. And for maybe a few months of the year, we kind of have a little bit of a football tournament that takes place. So once things are good on that end, then definitely that's a number one priority for us.
What's missing right now? Maybe a lot of things. I don't really know, but like, what are there any like key features that are really missing to make that happen?
I think control's an aspect. As a creator, you need to have control over that experience. So either access to the experience, access to certain areas in that experience, and then either some form of command for the landowner that they have the ability to kind of control events that happen for everyone.
Uh huh.
And that you need that
I've been.
a
That's a feature that I would
referee.
love. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I've thought about the mechanics of like how the referee resets the ball, and yeah, it can work, but it only works in some instances. And having that ability as like the landowner, if you log into the account that land is published from, then you have a different interface where you can trigger certain events that you want throughout, like messages throughout the map. You have that ability to control it from one event, from one place, and control it for everyone. Because there's things like scoreboards and stuff. I want to have like a commentator area, and it'd be cool to
Hmm.
get people that come in and commentate on and have that as a
Dude,
stream as
I
well.
would love to commentate on metaverse football. That would be
But
so fun.
a big part of that is like camera control then as well.
Uh
And
huh.
if you do want to do something at that kind of level, then it needs to have full control.
Yeah, yeah, totally. There's definitely a few things that I'm scheming up that would also benefit from the landowner being able to do certain things that no one else can do. 'Cause
100%.
yeah, I feel like especially like multiplayer, maybe it wouldn't even ever really make sense to not do it in a multiplayer setting. Now that I think about it, it probably wouldn't. But yeah, definitely in multiplayer, like having control over what's happening, it would be helpful for certain situations, and probably way more situations than I can think of. And just to clarify, because I'm a American, when you say football, you're talking soccer, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's I assumed, and I assumed correctly, but I just wanted to make sure. Both would be cool. I don't even know how you like. I think building an act like a American football game would probably be 10, maybe not 10 times harder, but it would be a lot more complicated. Just because
Yeah.
I maybe not though. I don't know. I'm also when I say an American, I don't really know a whole lot about soccer other than whenever I watch the the World Cup and stuff, and I pretend like I know what's going on. But it's definitely a sport that I could see being able to take place. I mean, they already kind of do it with what's that game called? Rocket League, maybe is that right? That's kind of like a
Yeah.
soccer. I mean, it's a more extreme soccer game, but it's kind of a soccer style game. Are you, whenever you, what are you envisioning for the soccer game? Like, would it be like a 3v3, 5v5, or like I don't even know how many people play on a soccer team in a regulation, but um, what in the
So
world?
I can send you, let me send you this little link. There you go. So we put some info at the start when we started building on the Boot Group website, but we didn't take it any further because we're waiting for those features at the moment. So I think we were doing 5v5 on the pitch, but teams would be of seven. Games would be just to check, so I don't say anything that's wrong. Games will be 10 minutes total, two 5 minute halves with a 5 minute break. Teams will be 5v5, no added time. Games will end a draw unless it's a cup or competition. Obviously, the team with the most goals wins. And then with the mechanics at the time, we had that a foul was when a player is attacked, resulting in health damage.
Mm,
But that's obviously changed. So a lot of this is waiting for the features, really. And then
right.
if the ball goes out of play, it'd be replaced by a ball boy.
Oh, a ball what?
Like a ball boy. I had the idea of someone being able to pick up an asset and carry it around, and they could just respawn the ball whenever they wanted. So a bit of like the referee, there'd be a guy that just runs around and drops the ball if it goes out of play.
Ah, that that would be kind of fun to control that dude. Um, I'm also getting distracted because there's random messages that are popping up on on the screen. When the thing that and then the thing that you sent up, there we go. Now I got the football to work. For a second there, I was trying to get me to open, or maybe that would have been a different game that was prompting me. Oh, dope. This is the. Am I? I'm not bringing it over here. There we go. This is the arena that you have built.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That looks awesome. How assuming that's on a one by one, yeah. Or maybe not, but
yeah. It was a
how big is the stadium itself? About a one by one?
there's So yeah, because we have to kind of set the same rules for everyone. So we built a little bit of the template of the pitch. So everyone's pitch, if they're building a stadium, must be the same size.
Uh-huh.
But then from there, you can build the stadium however big you want. We did suggest try and keep it to a one by one because if it's a bigger land, then there's going to be potentially there's more stress on people's computers. And if we're looking for a multiplayer game, then you need to try and keep that to a minimum.
Right. That makes sense. How many how does somebody get to build the stadium? You might have said it and I missed it, but how
No,
does
so a concept is well, the idea is that we announced it all to the community. There's a few people that started building stadiums and kind of gathering teams together a little bit. We've had to put it back because we're waiting for those features.
okay.
But once everything's confirmed, i.e., we have the features, this stadium is all complete and works, and we've run some tests, then we'll open it up that anyone can enter, and we'll do like a bit of an entry period where people can submit. They'll send images of the stadium, images and names of the team, that what their kit looks like as well, because we have a kit template that people can build their own team kit from. Um, and then we'll do some friendlies between everyone and set out some dates and times for the competition. Because there's only 10 games and it's going to be 15 minutes each. The intention is we'll just kind of hop between. So it'll take a few hours to play through them all. But we can have maybe a couple of games play at the same time if need be. Fun guy football. I know Touche's building stuff as well. Yeah, he's already said he's going to throw a stadium in there for the fun guys.
Hell yeah. That'd be a fun stadium, I bet. A little mushroom maybe like a mushroom metro. You ever do you remember the Metrodome? I grew up in
No.
Minnesota, so oh you probably have no idea. Um, I grew up in Minnesota, and the Minnesota Vikings, which is the football team of Minnesota, and also the Twins, which is the baseball team, and I think also the Gophers, which is the college team, all played in this dome that had it was like an inflatable dome, like the like ring was solid obviously, but then like the top roof was like inflatable, so they like I don't know how they kept it up, but they were continually blowing air in there. And and that would be cool if the dome thing was actually like a mushroom head like top. I don't know. We'll see what he comes up with. He's probably like, that sounds just lame. I have a way better idea. But but I have a feeling it's gonna be a cool stadium no matter what. Um, as far as I'm gonna bounce all over the place here, but I just saw one of the messages that you sent over, and now I'm curious about this. And I'm gonna try and pull it up on screen. You say that you just recently announced the Frenchies, and I'm
Oh yeah.
trying to get the image. Oh, it's gonna show over here. Let's try this. Boom.
Oh yeah.
What is this all about?
So first of all, a big thank you to Touche, who's here. Touche's helping with this. The this Ninas, there's going to be lots more Ninas. So we're doing some randomly generated Ninas with different traits. Those there's going to be 1,313 in total. Anyone that has the Nina from Twitch will obviously get one for be able to claim one of them for free.
Nice.
Then we're going to do 13 one-of-ones, like special versions with partners. I know we've already spoke with Touche about doing a mushroom one as well. Um, so yeah, we'll be doing a sandbox one probably, and a few different special versions, and then all the different traits that we've got, and they'll be going for sale probably in about 6 weeks maybe. And there will be the sandbox avatars as well coming from them.
Dope.
So
That's super
a lot
cool.
to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you have a lot that you're working on right now. But that's super cool. Is the so the Nina project, like I'm assuming this is gonna be kind of like the token that maybe gates those events and stuff in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyone that's a Nina holder and one of these, I want to give like early access to for any events that we have and allow them to go in and experience it and maybe hold a few different special events. But the OG Nina, what I call the French Bulldog, the one that's offered through Twitch, that is like the golden ticket for Boop Goop.
Mm.
So because there's only 200 of them and it's what started, it was the first, um, that's the golden ticket to everything
Hell yeah.
in my eyes. But
Hey, you heard it here first on Behind the Avatar. Get the OG ones. Is what do you have the link handy to those OG ones, or maybe you already sent it over to me? Um,
I
to
can get it up.
yeah, just drop it whenever a chance. I want to check it out, and also maybe throw some bids out there. Um, I don't know if I'll be able to watch your channel enough to claim one myself. Maybe I'll set up a bot to watch your channel. Uh,
We
um,
do a little. If someone claims Nina's, normally we give them the channel points back and like distribute them and donate them to everyone.
oh, nice. Hell yeah. That's legit. There it is. Pull it up on screen so everyone else can see. Um, what I don't know if you maybe you said, and I don't remember. But what did you do before finding the sandbox? What's your background? What have you been up to until you ended up here?
So I did an apprenticeship in engineering, electrical engineering.
Okay.
Um, so that was like 5.5 years of my life. um, and then worked in a few different places to do with engineering, some, geez, I'm just going to bore people now. Industrial vision and Ethernet systems, CCTV. Then I did a few different projects. I worked in a prison for a bit. That was crazy. And a few historical buildings here in the UK, which is kind of cool. And then the last job that I had was still in engineering, yeah, before I came here. And that was the industrial Ethernet and vision stuff. So electrical things.
Yeah, yeah. What you said you worked in a prison, which sparked my ear. What did you do for the prison?
The electrics.
Like
The
the
prison was getting like a full revamp, basically. So we had to do all the electrics throughout the prison.
like for like
And the
the
original,
gates and or the doors, and I'm
all,
sure
all,
like
all the
everything's
gates were keys.
Oh, yeah. I suppose that would probably be smart, so that things
So
can't fail.
there was like basic systems. We didn't touch any of the like the power, i.e., electric. It was more like systems. So it was all of like every cell has a call button. Then the
Mm,
panic buttons had to be updated. All the fire alarm had to be updated as well. And then like a few technical systems in the back end, all the boards that they had needed updating and stuff. So it was it it was active. I spent
yeah.
18 months that job.
Did you, whenever you were working in the prison, was the prison populated?
Yeah,
Yeah. What was
it
that? What was
was.
that? Was that your first time like being in? I'm assuming inside of a prison.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely eye opening.
Yeah.
The prison I worked at was like one of the most notorious in the UK. So
Ah,
it what as soon the first day I walked in, it was like 7:30 in the morning, and walked straight into the prison. Well, bag check and take all your phone out and stuff. You couldn't do that. You couldn't take anything in with you realistically. Like all your bags got searched every morning, and it took like half an hour, 40 minutes to get from outside the prison to where we needed to be to
right.
get all the tools and stuff. And then there was like toolbox checks every day. Anything that we took inside, we had to write down a list. And
Make sure it
it,
all
it
comes out if it goes in.
but yeah,
Yeah.
first day we just walked straight into a live active prison. Everyone was out, open, walking around everywhere because it was breakfast for them.
Uh
So
huh.
it was,
It's a
yeah,
uh, the reason that it got my attention is when I graduated. Well, I guess I hadn't graduated yet. I did an internship in college at a prison, and I was working with like the like special investigation like team that would watch like the cameras and listen to the phones and all that and read the letters and everything to like make sure that nothing like crazy was going to happen or try and find uh, people on the inside communicating what people on the outside should be doing and stuff like that. And it was a trip. It was super interesting. But like being that like that first like day, like walking in and just like realizing that there's all these guys that are walking around that who like you have no idea what they did to get in there, but it does make you just like I don't know, it makes you feel a certain way. And it's it's unfortunate because like it, my experience, a lot of those guys are like super nice, super funny.
yeah.
They just made some poor decisions in their life as well, and ended up there. But it was an eye opening experience. So interesting, just that you brought up a prison that just sparked just those memories in my head, which I haven't thought about in a long time. So thanks. What up, Half Dork? Thanks for the raid. I was watching their. I don't know if you know or saw their. They. I think it was today was the first time they did it, but they're doing a Dungeons and Dragons like 3D Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh,
and
nice.
Half Dark is I don't know what it's called. I'm the worst. I have no idea about Dungeons and Dragons, but moderating it or whatever, dungeon master leader man, and it was very fun and entertaining to watch. So recommend anyone check out Half Dark's streams of Dungeons and Dragons and all the other things that Half Dark does because he's a man, does awesome stuff. So thanks for being here, and I definitely will be tuning into more of those streams. Um, anyways, back to your regularly scheduled program. As far as building in the sandbox goes, so you're focused on boop goop stuff. Is there anything outside of the stuff that we've already talked about that um, you feel like talking about? I don't know. I don't know everything that you have in the works, but is there anything that is out there that you want to chat about? Because I'm curious what else you have going on for people to find out about.
There's at the moment part of boot group really is sorry, all of boot group is my focus. There's a lot of land that we've got at the moment that needs filling, and we've even with all of the ideas that we have at the moment, we're still working on new stuff because we have the room to put it down. So at the moment, there's the football metaverse is going to be a 1x1. Then there's 5 different games from the sandbox as part of the Boot Group storyline. The Land of Valentina is something that we built as the first game jam that I want to recreate. Or we've got most of the assets, quite a bit done. Um, for Boop Hometown, then Goop Hometown, then the Boop Goop Hub will be getting a revamp again to integrate all of this new stuff. Then Space Life is something that we've been working on as well, which is a little bit further down in the storyline. You see, have you still got the football website?
I do somewhere.
So if you in the top experiences up there,
Boom, boom, boom. Experiences. Boom. Okay. Land of Valentina, Island of Valentina, Hub,
yeah.
Space Life.
So if you click on any of those, yeah. So then there's a little bit of story basically about each. But Space Life was something that we were building on stream a while back. Created the shell of this big donut flying spaceship. I don't want to say too much what it is about. I want to let people go in and read the story and see. Because all of the lore got done the first chapter anyway, which is on there as well. It's like the story of Boop. So there's Andy, Richie, and Nina. They live in a town together and they get sent off on a little mission. So one of those missions is to help save the town, and that is where the glow comes from. Um, part of Boop is run on an energy source, so the energy source is mined through the metaverse. There's a lot to go into,
Uh
and I want to
huh.
let people kind of go in and dig and find their own path through it because there's we want to make it really not complicated, but it all intertwines together the story,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of directions to take. So I want to see how people react and respond to it.
What's the best way for people to kind of get exposed to everything? Go to the website. Obviously, I have that pulled up. Is there anything like any steps that you would recommend people kind of go through to get their feet wet if they haven't been exposed to the Boop Goop ecosystem yet?
Depends what they want to know. If they want to go through the lore, I'd just read the lore story that's on there, and then have a look through the experiences, and they'll make sense of what's what. Yeah, that one up there. So there's a full story about AndyRichy and Nina, the town of Boop Goop, and the energy source, how they live, the adventure they go on, which is the Land of Valentina, the first adventure. So we built an experience where it looks just like a plain normal land from the top, and you go through, talk to people in the town, complete a few of the challenges in there, and kind of discover that there there's an energy source located here, and you built a machine which is the energy locator, which is an asset we created a while ago. It's like a little computer that opens up with a map on, and it's got like a little illuminations for the energy source,
Okay.
and it sends you to this 1x1, the location of this. You go through here, speak with people in the town, and you find that the whole town is just it's just a front. Everything's fake, and you get teleported to the town that's actually underneath it that you can't see in there. And it's 4 different biomes underneath. There's like this big snowy, like Candyland area, and then there's like a dungeon area at the end where you fight a big boss, and there's also like this desert area with upside down pyramids, which is cool.
I think we're
That doesn't
looking.
show it. That doesn't show it. Let me. I'll show you.
Yes,
Oh,
that'll work too. Um, so okay, so there's a lot more to this than than I ever first realized. So this is awesome. So definitely, if this is your first time kind of hearing about this, go to boopgoop.games. I'll put the links in the description and everything, but go check out everything there is on here. But definitely go read the lore, and go to those experience tabs and kind of see everything that's going on with all of this Boop Goop ecosystem so far. Is is Boop Boop and Goop are two different towns. Is that what I heard? Yeah.
Yeah, so Boop is very like advanced. You know, they focus on engineering. That's they want to create machines, technology, and move forward. And Goop aren't like that. Goop are the complete opposite. They, you know, they want to preserve the environment. They want to live like with nature. So they live a little bit more like not huts, but like wooden cabins kind of thing. And they live in the forest, you know, they have like stone paths and everything's focused on not destroying nature and kind of embracing it.
Mm.
So Boop go off and discover the energy source and cause a few issues there. Um, they come back with this energy source and create and develop machinery, which I can maybe show you a few of these actually. I don't know. Let me go and have a little look. I don't know if Maxi is here. Maxi's been creating a lot of the boot assets for the
Nice.
hometown. So
That
shout out to him.
I was gonna say that, and that kind of segues into something that I was gonna ask you about. Have you been building all this on your own, or do you have a team that's working with you? It sounds like you've already revealed one, and I think I remember talking to Maxie about that. So I should have known that there was at least one. But yeah, do you have quite the team, or is it just a few of you, or how's everything getting done in the Boop Goop world?
So yeah, Maxi works as a voxel artist for Boop Goop. There's also someone else that works just a few hours at weekend called Rothers, and they're in the Discord as well. Then there's me and Faye as well. Faye does a lot of work developing within the sandbox. She's got a bit of a surprise coming in the future to do with Nina and friends. In the Boot Group hub, Nina's friends came into light. There was like a husky and a corgi that we created in there as well. So she's she's doing some work on Nina's friends. Let's say I don't want to
Okay.
say too much.
Cool, cool. That's enough for now. We'll have to have you back on whenever there's more to learn. But so there's gonna be friends in some capacity.
Yes, they've already been shown a little bit in the Boot Group hub.
Nice.
So
Is the hub playable, or is any of this explorable, playable in the drafts gallery or anything right now?
the land of Valentina is there. I don't know how well it works because
Uh,
it's not been updated
yeah,
since. Um, and the hub will be there, but that's 0.7. So it may work. I don't know. I'd have to go in. I don't want to do the updates yet
yeah.
because
I feel like it's
we
almost
will.
like until it's time to actually use it, it almost makes sense to just wait until, because otherwise you're probably gonna have to do another more updates after the updates. I don't know. That's kind of my perspective. I guess it depends when you want to do things. What is
Yeah, I'll just.
what is this that we're looking at? I have the pillars pulled up.
I should really show you the experience. I don't want to show other people yet. I know. um, but that's part of Boop. So when they go off to discover the energy source, they're going through a bit of an ancient AV environment, and that's the purpose of these. Um, I'll have to show you afterwards.
I
I
was gonna
don't.
say, I'm like,
It's
I'm
not ready
like,
to show everyone,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. No, I can't wait to be able to take a peek at all of this. The benefits of being on the other side of the camera. Um, I'll let everyone know how cool it is. And I can let you know right now it's gonna be dope. So, um, just judging by the little pieces that we've already seen. This little teaser that I have pulled up right now, it has me excited just because I love. I don't know if this is exactly how it's gonna feel, but like it gives me like almost like Indiana Jones vibes, like just exploring some like ancient um I don't know the right word, ancient places, um, and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's exactly what the vibe will be, but it looks like it's going to be fun to explore. That's my favorite thing about the metaverse, and I like the games. I like playing the games, and and having fun, and especially like the multiplayer player stuff is always a big thing for me. But I also just love just wandering around and exploring and just like seeing visually all the cool stuff, because it's crazy how immersive the sandbox can actually be. I Whenever I first started out, I really was skeptical of um the
The
ex
voxels.
yeah, the voxels, because like I'd played Minecraft quite a bit, to be honest. Not like a ton, but enough to say that I've played Minecraft, and I enjoyed it, but that very basic blocky voxel just wasn't what I was looking for. But to see like obviously like the world is still going to be voxelized, but the way that you can manipulate everything to make it feel more and more like it's not a cube world is exciting, and it's cool to see you and all kinds of other creators figuring out all kinds of different ways to really like pull you in and make it feel like you're in um, more than a voxelated world, which is cool that people are figuring out how to do that. Is there is that something you focus on when you're building? Is like how to um, eliminate the voxel feel, or do you like the voxel feel? I know there's builders that are on both sides of the fence with that.
I think it depends on the environment. I think the fact that you can move nodes and create voxels within other voxels and twist, add just the faint edge of a voxel and hide things inside, the that gives you so much more. The possibilities just get ridiculous from then, because you can create curves and round edges. Now you're also a victim to face count, and once you start pushing
Yeah.
things a little bit, but a, a big part of it is thinking really deep about what you're creating. Max is doing the pillar there is an amazing job, because he's taken advantage of the asset, i.e., it's a pillar, and we do want it to be huge and look like it's not made by us. And that means that the bigger you go with an asset, the more detail that you can go, because you lose that voxel aspect, if that makes sense. Once you go bigger and bigger and bigger, you can hide the detail a lot easier and make it look a lot more detailed.
Uh-huh. That does that.
And
Yeah. The bigger it
it,
gets, the more um yeah, the more the better it'll look, which is cool.
so play to the advantages that you've got. If you build things that are larger, take that into account, that you can add more detail there, and you're not going to go and look at things dead close up quite often. These assets here, people might stand at the bottom of them. So the features that are closer to the top, you can add more detail to the top, because it's unlikely that someone's going to be that close to it.
Mm. I see what I
Is
see what you're saying. Yeah, like so if you know that they're going to be further away, you really can add detail, because when they're not going to get close to actually be able to see um, how the detailing was actually done. Um,
Plus, then when you break it down further, I think it's what you can get away with being blocky and what should be round. For example, if you're creating car tires, you're building a round asset in the sandbox is very, very difficult because it's squares.
yep.
So you have to work out what size you're going to build at, and whether you want to take advantage of adding loads of nodes and actually creating a circle, or you just want to stick to something that has that block effect. If it's going to be a helicopter and it's dead high in the air, you can get away with having a few blocks on it, because no one's going to go near it. It's really playing to the advantage of what you want. But things things can look blocky and still look great.
I was gonna say, there's also, yeah, like things can be blocky and look awesome at the same time. Like there's both sides of it, really. Because sometimes I'll see something that doesn't have any nodes added to it, and it's just built all just straight up and down voxels, and it'd be like, damn, like how did you make me think that that was super realistic until you get super up close, and then you can kind of see all the jagged edges. But yeah, it's impressive, honestly, to me. Like I don't come from a background of of like building with voxels or pixels or anything, so just seeing all these different artists and what they really can do with this medium is impressive. I would have never guessed it, especially because like
Yeah,
all I know is Minecraft until now, and now I'm like, holy shit, there's all kinds of other stuff you can do.
I hated voxels at first. I hated vox edit because there was no conversion. There was as the way that I want to build something is I want to be able to look at something and see how I can convert the size of that into the size that I want. And then you're looking at trying to create a perfect scale between everything and it just doesn't work, and you have to accept that it doesn't work, and you have to change the way that you think when you're building in voxels for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if you were trying to build the scale, that would be super tough. Outer Studios is focused on that. I feel like they really try and do everything like super to scale that they put out, and I feel like that's got to be such a challenge to to make sure that like everything is to the same scale. Maybe they've figured something cool out, um, but yeah, that I just I just build whenever I'm building. I just build what looks right and put it in the game
Mhm.
maker next to the thing that I'm trying to put it next to. And if if it's too small, then I'm like, oh god damn it, gotta go back and make it bigger. Um, but but that's just how I do everything. I just kind of just dive in and just figure it out as you go. Um, so I'm sure there's better ways to approach it, but yeah, it's the scaling is kind of tough. Now that I think about it. I used to look at there's a chart out there, or like a graphic that has like a bunch of different things all stood across.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like in like the Medium articles and the GitHub and stuff, but with like swords and gun and animals and all that different stuff. I used to look at that a lot to try and get like a gauge of how big of like template I should use to to build off of, but I still have no idea. Um, people, I
I
know. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I always went deeper than that though. I went to like look at look at the ratio of things within the asset that I was building. Because before I used AutoCAD before and built like technical drawings in there and things
Mm,
like that. So it's fair enough they were only 2D drawings. I did a little bit of 3D work, but mostly it was just Autodesk or AutoCAD, sorry. And the the problem is nothing can be 100% accurate because Blue Tulip said it like one voxel is 3.1 centimeters or 1.2 inches. And I'd want to build something that's perfect. And
uh-huh.
for months and months, I avoided Vox Edit because every time I went in, I could never build what I wanted to. And then I realized over time that you have to change the way you think about building things.
I see. Yeah. That I'm glad I don't feel that way about building, because because that would be tough, especially like with weird numbers like that. I didn't realize voxels were 3.1 centimeters or 1.2 inches. I guess I knew there was those numbers out there, but is that is that standard? Like, is that what a voxel is in like say like Magic Voxel and like everywhere Vox Edit, or is that something that was just like
No,
the
so
scale that the sandbox used?
the one block is supposed to be a meter. You know, the land is
Uh huh.
96 meters by 96 by 128. So there's there's 96 meters on a piece of land and there's 96 blocks. So one voxel being 1 meter is 32. Sorry, there's 32 voxels within one block, and the block is a meter. So it's a meter divided by 32.
Ah, gotcha.
So
Okay.
there's no ratio. Like it's not the scale isn't like 1 to 500 or 1 to 1,000.
Uh
You're
huh.
It's really difficult to build things. Like
It's like using inches and feet and all the bullshit that America uses instead of the metric system, which is super easy to convert.
There's 12 of these in this, and there's yeah.
Yeah, I've always just been baffled at the fact that that most of the world uses a really easy to convert system, and we use numbers that you have to memorize all over the place, and they're none of them are consistent with each other. Um, but that's a different topic. Maybe someday we'll just get away from the whole. I don't even know what I know. The metric system is the system that works. I don't know what our system is called. The broken system.
Imperial. That's it.
Imperial. That sounds great. Intimidating. The imperial system. Um, so as far as the future goes for Boop Goop, it sounds like there's a lot in the works and a lot that you can't talk about, or yeah, can't talk about. Is there a any sort of timeline that people can look to, or is are things still too unsure as far as updates and everything goes, for future releases and stuff?
So before, I'd like to say before summer this year, Boop Hometown is out, and people can go and explore the game, which is behind the lore, in the very first aspects of the lore. What Boop's town looks like, what the people are that live there, and how they live, and that town will, all that experience will be done before summer this year, or sorry, released in summer. Now, that's just going to be uploaded to the gallery. I don't know how
Sure.
that's going to comply with sandbox seasons and stuff like that. So from there, I'd like to have the football metaverse as well, but that's dependent on the sandbox. So well, as soon as those features come, then I can give you an exact date because we're here and we're ready,
Uh-huh.
kind of thing. Um, but there's gonna be, I expect, at least probably 3 months before that to go through some friendlies, make sure everyone else has their experiences ready and everyone's on the same page, and then release the fixtures for all of the competition. So the first game of Boop and the Land of Valentina will be this year, and then experiences will start coming out from the future after that.
Cool. Cool. Um, and will people that are playing these games, is there any like incentives or rewards or any kind of like system like that as far as like participating in the different experiences and stuff that you have planned out, or is there anything question mark?
Um, I'll tell you what. So Nina holders, obviously, we're going to do private events for Nina holders,
Okay.
and that goes for the Frenchies and the original holders of the French Bulldog sandbox asset. Um, those two will be able to enter events, which will be, I don't want to say too much of what they're about. Let's just say parties, let's
Okay.
say, within the sandbox where we have activities and there's rewards to be able to be won through those events. Then things like the metaverse football. One thing that we plan on doing is generate revenue through the events to be able to do as like prize money for the teams.
Mm.
So we built advertisement boards throughout like the stadium, and we're getting in contact with people to see if they want to purchase an advertisement board, basically. And the people that have built the stadiums in the events will give them the images, and they can just put the link in, for the NFT display.
Yeah.
Um, and the revenue generated from that will go to Boot Group. But there needs to be a cycle, as a project. I don't want to just turn around and say, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to give you everything that you want, because there needs to be an in-source or an income of revenue to pay for that.
Right.
Otherwise it's just dreamland. It's
I
better.
think sometimes people forget that.
There needs to be a slow build, or it's just not healthy for the company or the project. Sparky Snickles talked a little bit about Nina stuff there, but there is physical stuff for Nina holders. We did like Nina key rings or 3D printed Ninas not that long ago. And I've been working on printing a few different models of Ninas to be able to give out to the holders. At the moment, the difficulty is hosting 200 things around the world.
Uh-huh.
If if they go to the UK or Europe, it's kind of not too bad. But once you start getting out of those, then it's just extortionate. Um, Sparky Snickle did get a 24 karat gold leaf Nina.
No shit. That's cool.
Yeah, that was a while ago. We did. They bought like the 100th Nina. I'm actually working on the Boot Goop merch, which I shouldn't really say too much about, but there's a lot going on, and as soon as one is done and out there, the next they'll be like, this is next, this is next, this is
Uh-huh.
next. And at the moment, there's a lot of, let's not say roadblocks. There's a lot of things being held up which are out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
So once I get the answer to those, I can put everything into a structured timeline, and there's a lot coming, like a lot, too much.
That's good though. I love to hear that. And the I know it's tough to like hold hold things in, especially when there's so much going on. So I'm trying not to like ask you too too tough of questions where you spill something that you weren't planning on. But yeah, I think it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like once the things need to be figured out get figured out, you're pretty much ready to rock and roll and have these things happening. You'll just need to implement the little pieces that are missing, and then boom, everything's going, and Boop Goop is running on full steam ahead, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, to make it easier probably to understand, there's there needs to be a bit of like a diagram breakdown. But boot groups at the top, let's say, and underneath that comes the storyline, which is the five experiences. Then the storyline will be integrated then into the events that we do within the community, whether we do the treasure hunts, the football metaverse, and different like battle royale kind of games. We started working on a bit of an environment for like a multiplayer battle
Mm,
royale kind of game.
hell yeah.
Um, then from that comes the Frenchy project as well, which is a different kind of way to get involved in the community by having this profile picture project, let's say PFP. And from there, there's also the streams as well, which is interacting with the community and being able to offer rewards to people through the channel points. So Boot Group as a whole kind of like stretches out into these different categories underneath, but the 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 main story is going to get dragged across everywhere. So as long as you understand the main story, and if you want to read into the lore, then that background will be transposed everywhere, and you'll be able to see references to Boop and Goop throughout all of the experiences. Especially even in the Nina stuff as well. In the Nina project, there's
Yeah.
certain traits which kind of give a pay a homage to the Boop or the Goops.
Uh-huh. Heck yeah. No, that's that. I love, and I'm glad I'm learning more about this because these are the kind of like projects, if you will, that I like to be a part of, because it's fun whenever it's spread across a bunch of different things, and there's things for every kind of person, or even the same person on different days, depending on like what you're feeling. Like maybe today you just want to tune in and watch a stream, but you're still getting a dose of this ecosystem that you're building. Or today I want to go play a game, so I hop into the Valentina game. um say that right, I hope. um
Yeah, yeah.
so like that's the kind of things that I look for, and I love to see that that's what you're building. And it's exciting to know that it's almost there. It feels like it's still early, and there's plenty plenty of time for people to find out about what you're doing, and get involved. But it also seems like things are starting to ramp up, where we can expect in the nearest future, whenever the roadblocks are released, and the dam is released, and the water can flow. um, we'll be experiencing all kinds of fun stuff, and having fun in the metaverse together. Is there is there anything
I don't know. There's a reason you don't see this side of the room normally, and that's because there's
That looks like my notebook. Um, is that a whiteboard or some or just
oh my
paper?
days. We're going like this now. I've got like the whiteboards that stick on the wall.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I might
Yeah.
have to.
I'm a doodler
There we
too.
go.
I have a I don't know what size notebook this is, but it's bigger than my head. Um, and I got a pretty big head. That I just fill up constantly. I usually buy like four at a time and just doodle in all kinds of random shit. Some of it sticks and some of it I wish it was a whiteboard and I could just erase it and start doodling something else. But that's why the next page gets used. Um, so uh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, it's just that's poop. You don't. The best things in the world are those whiteboard things. I'd paint the wall in whiteboard paint, so you can just scribble anywhere on it. Um, but they definitely help. Otherwise, my desk could be covered in post-it notes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I also have post-it notes everywhere, um, and I'll find post-it notes and I'm like, well, that doesn't really apply anymore, so I can get rid of that one. But most of them stay put for quite some time. Um, Post-it notes. Sounds like we have a similar creative process. I'm sure lots of people are like that. As far as like outside the metaverse goes, what are you up to? What's bringing you joy? What do you like to do when you're not focused on Boop Goop and trying to grow this empire that is soon to be?
Group Group has been non-stop for
Yeah.
I just sandbox for 2.5, 3 years now. 3 years. It's just been non-stop. So I've not really had time to wind down. Um, when when COVID hit and that kind of like changed everyone's life
Mm-hmm.
completely in the UK. Um, Sandbox took over, but from there we went on holiday a few times. A big part of what me and Faye like to do is go traveling, go and see different places, and get away from. I say city life. We don't really live in a city, but just sunshine, I suppose. Get away from the UK weather.
Sure.
Um, so we went and visited Touche for a month, and that was like a trip of a lifetime.
Nice.
Um,
I remember seeing about that.
yeah, and then we went to New York as well with the sandbox. Probably a couple of weeks after that, we went to London as well with the sandbox. So it's just been non-stop. Um, I want to go camping soon. You
Yeah.
know, I like as I've become more and more involved in technology, let's say definitely about like the metaverse and stuff. I've wanted to get away from it as well more.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely find myself wanting that time outside. Each day I go for a walk now. That's part of my daily routine.
That's good.
Sometimes twice a day. Like just get outside 15, 20 minutes and leave my phone away because
That's
otherwise
important.
you just sat behind screens all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's um Nina, that's full time looking after Nina at the moment.
Yeah.
Faye works full time, so I'm like stay at home, cook food, do all this stuff,
Uh-huh.
and then look after Nina as well. Um, but not much really,
Yeah.
not much
Sounds like a
streaming.
camping trip is something that the doctor would prescribe though. Um, Dr. Crafter prescribes it at least. Sounds like you need a camping trip. Just to you'd be I mean, I'm sure you're still cranking out great stuff, but just taking even a few days or a week away from everything really revitalizes me anyways whenever I start feeling like that I've just been behind a screen and just doing the damn thing for so long. It really is nice to get away, and I usually try and go to the beach. I love going to beaches. personally, but also into the mountains. I love traveling too. So, yeah, it's it's definitely needed. I think a lot of us can relate with that.
Yeah, 100%. You know, time's flown with all the work that I've been doing the last few months, and it's definitely needed to get away from the screen, have a break, and turn the phone off for a week, a weekend, and kind of get away from screens because you can't sit here behind them all day every day. You need to go outside, and 100% camping is like one of the best ways to get away from technology.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's crazy how okay with the addiction of phones we are. Like it's obvious that pretty much everyone in the world, not everyone, there are people that have discipline around it, but I would say a high percentage, 90% or so, are extremely addicted to their phones, me included. And it's interesting how just okay with that everyone is. I struggle with the whole metaverse idea because I always think about, like, I love the metaverse. I'm obsessed with the metaverse. I'm sure you guys understand that. But I always like come back to I, I want people to be doing stuff outside and enjoying the life that we have and not always behind screens, even though the things behind the screen or on the screens are super fun and everything. Like there's also so much fun to be had outside. So it's like it's a weird dichotomy that that I that I battle with all the time. Is like because it's like if you're building stuff in this space, you're obviously wanting people to spend time in using the stuff that you're building and being in the metaverse with you. And but then at the same time, you also, at least me, want people to to not be always doing that, and also finding other hobbies and passions and stuff outside of the metaverse. And it's one of those things that I don't know how to solve. I feel like there's got to be ways, and hopefully one day I identify a way that I can do my part in solving that. I don't know what that'll be yet, but it's definitely something that I've kind of tossed around in my head over and over again. Um, I don't know if that's
I actually,
exactly how you feel about it, but that's me.
I deleted all social stuff off my phone.
Ooh,
I,
I've done that before, and I'm not in
I,
that phase right now, but I have done that.
I was sat there one day and I was scrolling through Facebook like you do. And I realized that it was just like someone's post and then it was an advert and then someone's post and then two adverts and then another post. And I just thought, why am I even like, if I look at Facebook, 50% of my time is spent looking at adverts, if not more. So I just had this moment where I was like, delete it. So Facebook, Instagram, it just went because I don't want to sit there scrolling on my phone. And I probably did this a few months ago, so it's kind of gone now. But the first few weeks afterwards, I found myself picking my phone up and looking at it and like looking for an app that doesn't exist so I can sit and scroll.
Uh-huh.
And when I realized, I was like, and just looking by and put my phone down, like as soon as I realized what I was doing subconsciously, I just like put it down, don't need it, and everything, yeah, got deleted off my phone. So I still have Twitter and Discord and stuff and ways, but Twitter's for the community. There's
Yeah.
news to get from Twitter. It's not rubbish. It's actually informative. Depending on who you follow.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say, as long as you curate your feed correctly. Yeah.
but then
That's
Discord is where I keep. But everything else went. It's just
yeah. I still have a few of the other platforms on my phone, but I've gotten I moved them into like a folder and put them like 3 pages to the right. So like, but the crazy thing is I put it there and this is a hack though because it gives me time. So I still find my way. I still find myself not being conscious and pulling up my phone, unlocking it, and starting to swipe, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Oh, I'm trying to get into one of the social media apps, and
Yeah.
then I can stop myself. But I'm like, it's crazy how that I don't know process is just so ingrained in us now that you just whenever you don't have anything else going on, you just reach for that phone, pull it out, start opening something up, and before you know it, you're scrolling, and it's not great. Like you said, you're just basically consuming a bunch of ads and things that you really don't need to be exposed to. Like there's so much in the world that goes on that you don't need to know about, but you do whenever whenever you log into to Instagram or Twitter even. I mean, they're all doing it. Um, I try and use Twitter consciously. That's like the main one that I end up on. Because I tell myself the same thing that there's good stuff on here. Like there's this is where the community is. Like I need to I want to be a part of it and seeing what everyone's doing. But
Yeah.
even sometimes then I'll find myself and it's like, wait a minute, I've just been scrolling through this timeline and barely even paying attention for 20 minutes. It's like, what am I doing? But that's
Twitter's kind of okay because you get information on Twitter. You know, you can explore what's trending, and the the general public force what's popular on Twitter. You know, it's not just an algorithm that's kind of cramming stuff in your face. If you look at your own feed, yeah, but if you actually go to trending, there's people that are tweeting those things to force them to become popular.
mm-hmm.
So genuinely, if you look at Twitter, you're getting stuff that everyone cares about because everyone's complaining about it. Unless it's like Love Island on Saturday night or whenever it's on TV, you know, you find someone's name trending and you're like, who on earth is that and why?
Yeah.
But
Trending on Twitter is always interesting. I like that you can see it. You see it on the desktop. You don't really notice the trending on their mobile. At least I'm sure there's a way to find it, but I never really pay attention to that whenever I am on my phone. But trending is interesting to see what's going on in the world because it really is kind of a pulse on. I mean, it's a small percentage of the world that's on Twitter, but still, it does give you a good pulse of what's going on around the world. I don't know what the
so yeah,
percentage is.
I know there'd be a lot now though. Like there's a lot of people that use Twitter.
That's true. It's probably up there.
I don't know who's the most followed person on Twitter.
Donald Trump.
Really?
I hope not. I know he has a lot though, or maybe not anymore. I don't know what happened when he got kicked off.
Is it Barack Obama?
That would
Close. One of your
one
presidents.
of our presidents. I can't believe Donald Trump is in that conversation.
Barack Obama's got 133 million people following him.
God damn. How does that even happen?
It's one thing when I first started streaming a few years ago was a rule to kind of like live by that. Don't you whenever you go to Twitch and you look at Twitch and you see like all these trending streamers that have got like 50,000, 10, 20,000 people watching them. Something that really helped me when I started streaming was imagining that everyone that's watching is sat in your room behind you. Like, and it really changes the perception if there's like 5, 10 people in your stream when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine having 10 people stood behind you watching you do whatever you're doing. It'd completely change it. And I just imagine Barack Obama having 130 million people following.
Well, I can't even. I don't even know how to imagine that in my head. Like that's a lot of people. But yeah, I like that is like a good tip though. Is like imagine when you are streaming or whatever. Imagine having those people just right in the room with you. Because that's I mean that's basically what people want is to just be a part of whatever you're doing. That's the whole idea of streaming, right? I mean, that's my idea of it anyways, is everyone's just being a part of whatever the streamer is doing. How long have you been streaming for?
On and off. So I wanted to start streaming a long time ago. It's probably about 5 years ago. And I I did Rocket League. I played some Fortnite and stuff a long time ago. And then when I kind of got the sandbox, that's when I really started going, hey, like I've got the PC for it now. Because before it was I didn't have the PC to stream and I couldn't you need realistically like a, it's expensive to stream. If you didn't have anything and you played on console as an example, you a computer to run the sandbox, run the stream, and well is like $1,500 probably. You're talking
Yeah.
because you need two screens if you're going to stream. Realistically, you need a mic and you need a chair. Like obviously at the start of the stuff you'd get by with what you could and build up and
Uh-huh.
improve stuff. But when I finished top 10 in the game jam, that's when I just went like everything PC and
Overhaul it all.
yeah, because it was needed.
I was gonna say
And
it does make a difference for sure. Especially like the PC is necessary almost. No, not almost, definitely. Like the PC needs to be up to par or else the rest of it is not going to work. Um and yeah, that's a good point that like there is a lot of people that are not able to stream just because of that one barrier, which is unfortunate because I'm sure there's tons of awesome people out there that would love to be streaming different games and such, but just can't get it all to
internet
work.
again, internet
Internet,
speeds
yeah.
another issue. Like if you don't have fast internet, then the stream's going to be affected by that as well.
Yeah, I've been
There's
been fortunate to have. Well, we just moved recently and we don't have it anymore. But I really like the Google Fiber. That's what we have um, in a lot of places in Austin, anyways. Have Google Fiber. This new place that we're at does not, which I was annoyed by. But fortunately, it's still been working pretty good. But I do notice a difference. So yeah, like high speed, good internet is important, especially like when your job relates to something like this where you need to be streaming or using the internet in some capacity. The
yeah.
whenever you were streaming like Fortnite and stuff, just was that like just something that you like wanted to like pursue becoming like a professional streamer, or what was your like motive for doing that in the beginning?
I wanted to stream.
Yeah.
A big part of streaming is engaging with other people
Mm-hmm.
and having having that community aspect and either allowing that community to engage with what you're playing or what you're doing and you really get to know people. You know, it's nice to be able to sit there, play a video game, and several people over weeks, months, come into the stream all the time, and you just talk about random stuff, and you get to learn so many different things, different people's perspective, like how life is so different for so many different people, and it's not something that you think about. And streaming was like a way for me to play video games and engage with other people. Like I don't know that community
Yeah.
aspect is all that it's about for me, and either talking a lot of rubbish or actually giving people valid, useful information. Either way, it's just fun to hang out with random people around the world.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I feel that a lot, and I I think I don't know what drew me to streaming exactly. But is there a funny comment? I every once in a while I'll catch a comment. It's tough with this show because like I want to focus on what we're talking about, and I love that you guys are in the comments and saying things, and definitely you guys know that I see it every once in a while, and get distracted. But but yeah, because now I'm distracted. And I don't know what I was talking about. God damn it. But oh, streaming. So streaming in the beginning for me. I don't even know why I decided to start streaming, other than probably just because I saw other people were doing it that were building in the sandbox, because that was the first time I really started streaming. Um, and I didn't know what to expect exactly. But whenever I got that dose of having like that community forum, and just like being able to interact with people and get to know them and chat with them, even though you're the one that's using your voice and everyone else is typing, like there's still that connection there, and I just loved it. It's like it was so fun to get to know everyone, and it allows, from a selfish perspective, like it allows everyone that's tuning in to get to know you and to start to know, like, and trust you, which is the name of the game whenever it comes to building a successful business. So like it's a great platform in that aspect. And I didn't realize that it was such a good like community building tool until I started, and then I quickly caught on that's what it was all about. Because I never really was like, I knew of Twitch. I would go to Twitch and watch League of Legends every once in a while. Was probably the main game that I would watch on there. Fortnite sometimes, but like I really just watched. Like I didn't really pay attention to the comments or anything. It was just like kind of on, like it was YouTube or something. So I didn't really realize that there is that huge community aspect to a lot of streamers out there. I feel like any successful one really is good at engaging with everyone that shows up and everything. Could be wrong. I don't really know. I haven't really done my research on really good streamers. So if anyone knows of any great streamers to learn from, drop them in the comments or something. But yeah, it it is a great tool, to connect with others and build a community around. So
There's different ways to approach it. I think, some streamers are popular because they're good at playing the game, and like, they're in the top 100, the top 50, the top 10
sure,
of that game, and that's something that I just thought, no, as a streamer, I'm not going to be able to go out here and go, look, I'm the in the top 10 of like the best at playing this game, because people aren't going to come to your stream for that. Let's say skill, let's say, in that aspect, so you have to find a way to work to your strengths, and having a community was a big part of that. you know Engaging with everyone and making making everyone in the stream feel welcome and feel like they have their place there. They're part of like a little family when you get together and you start streaming, and it it changes playing the video game. I used to watch Dr. Lupo a lot, and I used to just listen to him like while I was working or doing stuff as background noise.
mm.
And watching people stream makes you kind of want to do it more yourself. 100%.
That makes sense, especially like if you have that personality that would enjoy streaming. I could see how like seeing other people do it like would start like clicking in your head, like, oh, I definitely want to do that. That's how I always was with podcasting. Like I would listen to all kinds of different, I mean, when I say all kinds, there's a few main ones that really stick out. The Tim Ferriss Show, Joe Rogan Experience, Kevin Rose also does a podcast that I've listened to a lot. But those three, I guess, that I just named off, like those were like the staples on my rotation. And every time I would listen, I'd be like, I love being a part of the conversation, and like I want to be able to be more a part of the conversation. And that's what kind of drove me to. If you ask my wife, she she'd tell you. I have no idea how many times I brought it up over the last like 10 years, that I'm gonna start a podcast, and I just never knew what to start it about. And finally, after, I say 10 years, who knows how long it's actually been. I found I found this lane that I truly do love talking about, which is the metaverse, and I've been able and fortunate, to be able to get people like yourself onto the show and just sit down and vibe with, and just get to know a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, like that's really what I love doing, is just kind of chatting and getting to know individuals at a more deeper level. It's fun. It's fun and interesting to obviously talk about the stuff you got going on with different projects or what you're building or whatever. But then it's also fun once the conversation starts to shift away from that, and you start just kind of getting into who knows what comes up. And that especially starts to happen whenever people start to come on for the second time and the third time. So I'm looking forward to long way of saying, and I didn't know this is where I was going with it, but I'm looking forward to having you back on the show, because I feel like there's so much more that we could dive into and chat about, and so many different topics that I feel like we have a similar perspective on. It just feels like we vibe really well together. So long story short, looking forward to chatting with you again. I do need to start slowly wrapping the show up. So I'm going to do a few things here first. One, I know we talked about a giveaway, and I totally forgot to bring it up. So surprise, everyone in chat, we're gonna do a giveaway. I don't know. I know you didn't know what you wanted to give away, and you kind of wanted to let other people know or other people choose. So I don't know how you want to do that exactly, and I'm blindsiding you with that. So hopefully, you got something prepared. uh,
So I think, considering we've been talking a lot about Nina, I think it's fair we give a version of Nina away.
I like that. I like that idea.
Um, Light Nina is the Nina that's kind of based on my avatar a little bit.
Okay,
Um,
like a
so
glowing Nina.
yeah, I'm not going to give the original one because we stick to the rule. They're only
Stick to
through
the rules on that
attachment.
one.
You have to, you know, gotta respect the people that have put the effort in to get that to the original one. But we can give one of those away. I'm happy to. So,
Hell yeah.
and if someone's already got that Nina, then we can chat about a different one in replacement.
Perfect. I don't know why it's not loading. See it over there. I'm gonna give it a quick little refresh so you guys can see it, but I am trying to get organized while you're talking. To enter the giveaway, gonna drop a link in the chat here, guys. So for those of you that are catching the replay, this is why you want to tune in live, because we do giveaways. I said do. Occasionally, fairly often, the last few we've definitely done giveaways. It just depends on the guest and what they got and what they're willing to give away. But copy that here and drop it in the chat for y'all. What you got to do is fill out this form. At the bottom of the form, there is a prompt, and we still can't see your Nina. There's a prompt that tells you that you need to go to the Discord and enter the giveaway. And there's a link to the Discord, so make sure you do that, because that's how it's going to be drawn, and I need to create that giveaway. So give me 5 seconds, 10 seconds if you are too fast. But there's no rush. It'll be up for, I'm going to put it up for 5 minutes. So make sure you do it in the next 5 minutes and you guys will be good. If you can't figure it out, ask in the chat. I'll be paying attention, or at least try. Light Nina from AndyRichy. And
The sandbox should work though. The sandbox link that I sent you should work instead.
not 58 minutes, 5 minutes. And if you do have a founder key, I also set up that you will get an extra bonus entry into this one. So, in all future ones. So, perks of having a founder key. Shout out. The giveaway has been created successfully. Cool. So the giveaway should be in the giveaway channel of the Discord now. So go ahead and enter that. And you do have to have filled out the form as well. So make sure you fill out that form and submit it. And I'm going to try and pull up that other link that you sent so people can see. Boom. But it's been great getting to know you, man. I forget. I know I just like knew of you, just from being in the space and everything. But I think maybe Touche was the one who had originally been like, hey, you should have AndyRichy on the show. And I think he's also the one that helped me get a hold of you. So shout out Touche for setting this up and making this happen. I have on the screen right now the Light Nina, so you guys can see what you guys are entering to win. It's pretty awesome looking. Is all the Ninas like the same template, just different skins on them, basically? Is that how,
Um,
or is it, or does it vary?
yeah, if you go on the marketplace and just type in Nina, it should come up. You should see this Christmas Nina, Light Nina, Robot Nina. Um, there's also a Fungi Nina which isn't minted yet, but we've already shown people that.
Nice.
And then the original Nina as well.
Um, what am I doing wrong? Oh, this is
It
your
it'll be
page.
under Boot Goop, I think.
Okay,
Just go
that's
on.
that's right away. Go to shop, go to
Yeah,
search, go to
and just type in
Nina,
Nina at the
like you
top.
said. There we go. Okay, so we got Robot Nina, Christmas Nina, and Light Nina, and a couple other
Uh,
random Nina things, but don't think those are associated.
Nina's houses. There's Nina's house.
Nina's
That was
Metaverse,
we
something.
built her a little dog house. Yeah.
Okay, nice,
Um,
nice. And then and a wearable as well.
then there's the Christmas wearable version of that with the Santa hat on as well. That we've done. So I
Oh
think with the
yeah, the Christmas thing. I totally I remembered and then I forgot. I also forgot to get one of those. Uh, God damn it! But I remember seeing right around Christmas time you start talking about that, and I love the idea. If you want to just or I'll tell people you did a 20 what was it 25 days of Christmas giveaway, and if anyone bought the NFT each day, they could come and claim that day's gift or whatever, like an advent calendar. Is
Yeah, so there's the Boot Group Advent calendar we did. It was 25 days, like you say, and people purchased a ticket beforehand, which would give them like a special role in the Discord. Then they'd come in each day, check in, and they'd be able to see the asset for that day. Um, and if they checked in each day, then all the assets got airdropped out. I think there was like 1,777 assets in total that were claimed and sent out within the 25 days.
Damn, that's good. That's well 25 what's one I'm sure it wasn't all on the same day, but do you know how many individual wallets there was? Do you know that count?
Something like 70, I think,
Hell yeah.
or more there might have been. 70 or 80, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
that's legit. I say that's pretty successful Christmas drop.
It was good though because we minted the assets to the quantity that was claimed. So if, say, for example, on day one there was only 50 people that claimed, the exact quantity of that asset minted was 50. So there was no like spare or extra,
Ah, gotcha,
basically.
gotcha, gotcha. I like that. I think that's I mean, there's different ways to approach things, but I like just like cutting off mints, especially of like assets and stuff like that whenever it's done and not having a bunch of extras floating around out there. Keep it a little more exclusive to who participated right on the spot kind of thing. I dropped the link in the chat one more time for you guys. It's probably getting really close to that 5 minute mark, so hurry if you haven't already. But go fill out that form real quick and get in the Discord. Let me make sure that the Discord worked. That's probably a good thing to check, which I had to check on my phone because
Here's
reasons.
the
Oh
image
shit! It
actually.
already it already happened. So yeah, time is up, and congrats to the one and only Sparky Snickle. Um,
Oh,
I don't know if I know. It seems like you may have a few things of the Nina collection. So if you already have this, let us know, and you guys can figure out something else that you'll get. But congrats, Sparky. And I have all the information. I'll get it over to you after the show. So we talked about a lot. I'm not going to recap it because I'll probably forget most of it. But I am, so everyone is aware, focused on trying to cut these episodes up into different like clips and stuff and post them over on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. So keep your eyes peeled for that to get some of the fun, juicy little tidbits. Um, as far as recaps go. And I want to give you the stage one last time, just to let everyone know that's made it this far where they can find you, what they should do to help support you, how they can get involved, anything that you want to let the people know. This is your final chance until you're on next time.
Well, as well, big thank you to you for having me. Been
Hell yeah.
great, really enjoyed chatting with yourself. Um, People can go over to bootgroup.games. Everything is on there. The links to the Discord, links to my Twitter, information about the lore and the experiences, and links to Twitch are on there as well. So if anyone really needs anything from me, I'm in the Discord most of the time. You can pop over. You got any questions about stuff? All the information will be going to there first to Bootgroup. So big thank you though, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
things
yeah.
are coming, and I'm I'm hope next time we have something that we can kind of jump in and play around together a little bit. It'll be fun. But I
Um,
think in a few months we'll start seeing everything coming together and everything we talked about today getting rolled out.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. I'm glad we had you on before everything is 100% ready because it'll make it so much more fun to kind of play it back and start actually going through some of the things as that starts happening. And you said it just like I would say it. I'm super excited for the time whenever I can have people on and we can actually go and explore different experiences together as we're talking to the guest. And I think that might be a different style show than what Behind the Avatar is, but that is something that I am kind of in working through in my head about how we can approach that. But I think it'll be super fun to just have like a wandering podcast, if you will, that me and whoever we're hanging out with can kind of just go and explore the different stuff that they got going on and give us our own little personal tour as we wander around with them. So thanks again. Look forward to doing that. Maybe we can trial run that on whenever things start happening with all the boop goop stuff. But thanks again for coming on. It's been a blast. You're definitely gonna get that invite back on at a later date. And thank you, chat, for being here, supporting, showing up, distracting me. I saw the game you guys are going to start trying to play. And I agree, Sparky, it definitely is too easy to just distract me. So come up with something better than that. But I think you guys will be successful in one way or another with that game. Um, and yeah, if you are catching the replay, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, whatever else you can do. Share it around, leave some comments, all that fun stuff. And thank you again, Andy, for being on and being an awesome guest.
Appreciate it, man.
Hell
Take it
yeah.
easy, everyone.
Bye, guys.